Could we be the dragon dudes? And our counterpart is the dungeon dudes?
Let's do this. Let's get started. I think the stream is officially warm. The hamstrings are loosened.
The loosh.
Using a Jack Black loosh. Anyway, here we are. Thursday nights. This is FeatherFall. As I'm slobbering, Jesus, get it together. Sorry. This is FeatherFall TableTalk, and I'm still working with that name, and we're FeatherFall TableTop, and we're going to talk tonight about some more Unearthed Arcana. This is the last of the 6 different subclasses that came out. We've covered the 2, the Sorcerer, Aberrant Mind, and the Warlock, Lurker in the Deep. Those were pretty fun to look at and break apart and kind of shop some ideas here. We'll do the same thing tonight. I think we might get through both.
Did we talk about the monk and the barbarian? I think we did. Not. I think we did at a high level. Like, it wasn't the in-depth that we're doing with the Aberrant Mind and the Lurker in the Deep. So
exactly. So, but they're out there. Check them out. Surveys are up for those 4 on Dungeons & Dragons website. So if you've played them, do the survey. But we're going to talk about the 2 tonight, the Bard, College of Eloquence, and the Paladin, Oath of Heroism. But before we do that, we are FeatherFall Tabletop. We just finished up Waterdeep Dragon Heist, getting ready for some homebrew stuff. DM Bob over there, he's going to run us through some homebrew stuff. We did say goodbye to a close and dear friend last night on game. Nothing.
He did die. He did not die.
Didn't die. Right. That's so weird. People freak out when you say stuff like that. But he's moving on. He's doing some stuff. But if I don't want to go in too much, watch the episode. That's going to get you all that the feedback. We do have a special announcement for next Wednesday's game, but I'll save that. We do have our second campaign on the channel. The Gods We Know is taking a week off, but they did their session 0. That'll be out podcast here pretty soon. You can always watch the VOD here on Twitch. That's coming up. They will take a week off and then start session 1. I'm pretty excited about that. Like I said before, tons of creative folks there coming together and making some cool stories. So that's going on. We are sponsored by Skull Splitter Dice. Link down below. Get yourself some dice, 10% off. FeatherFall, right? We changed it. It changed, with the change. So it's FeatherFall at checkout. Get yourself 10% off. We are also sponsored by Found Familiar Coffee. Check them out as well. Do we have a link for them? We haven't got them linked on the page yet.
It's not on the page, but if you go to foundfamiliar.com/#, don't forget the hashtag FeatherFall, that will take you to our affiliate page, and you can get some coffee. Use the promo code FeatherFall for some discount too.
Yep, get it done. Help them out. We get a little kickback. That it's all good stuff. Great for the community. And it's coffee. Everybody loves coffee. I love coffee.
I'll also say we're nearing the end of September, so if it's the first time, you can use your sub and get half off. So it still helps us. It donates a little bit to somebody else, I think.
All good stuff.
Yeah. So it actually may be over. We may have missed it by a day or two. So
yeah, I'm not sure. But there we are. Again, if you're in chat right now, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Let's just jump in.
I see we do right away.
Right away. As we've done for the last 2, we did, like I said, the Sorcerer and the Warlock. Let's just jump in. I'll start by reading the kind of breakdown, the flavor text of this particular college for the Bard, and that is the College of Eloquence. Adherents of the College of Eloquence master the art of oratory. Persuasion is regarded as a high art, and a well-reasoned, well-spoken argument often proves more powerful than objective truth. These bards wield a blend of logic and theatrical wordplay, winning over skeptics and detractors with logical arguments, and plucking at heartstrings to appeal to the emotions of entire audiences. What do you think of that flavor text so far?
I mean, it's a bard. That's a bard, to be honest.
Right.
Oh, hey, look, a bard is being a bard.
Yeah, I'm going to be charismatic. So I think I'm hoping it kind of breaks out of, it gives us a little more than just bard things. like when you look at some of the other colleges, you get a little bit more. You get to dive into, you can either be a good fighter, like the valor, the lore, the glamour, you get some bits that kind of detract out, like not detract, but kind of fan out.
Right.
And
so
break away from just the charismatic talking.
One thing that instantly stands out is the fact, the difference. So if you were to take the Aberrant Mind and the Bard College of Eloquence and just compare them, the Aberrant Mind is like its own roleplay. Like it is this deep fantasy, you know, you were touched by an alien, right?
Yeah.
But then like this kind of just comes in. It's like, hey, look, a new Bard college that is exactly what a Bard is, anyways, and it's just more Bard stuff. Like it doesn't give you that same hook as like the Aberrant Mind or the Lurker in the Deep.
Yeah, I think this is going to play out to a very specific kind of game. A heavy role play game, one where you got a lot of your players like to monologue and kind of keep the words going. That's going to help them out. But it also, I'd like the last little bit in this introductory piece is plucking at heartstrings to appeal to the emotions of entire audiences. So going back to the rhetoricians of old, using like ego or ethos, pathos, and logos, trying to get those emotions drawn out and get you persuaded that way. I like that idea. I think there's something there. And for the right player, I think this is going to be a great role for you. So like Bard colleges, you get your stuff at level 3. So you're going to have those first 2 levels of Bard to kind of figure out who you are and kind of, what kind of player you're going to be, where you want to be. Those first 2 levels, you do get your inspiration, some expertise, and jack of all trades. So heading into level 3, you get your Bard college. And the first thing we get here is universal speech. You have gained the ability to speak and reason with any creature. As a bonus action, you can expend one of your uses of Bartok Inspiration. When you do so, roll your Bartok Inspiration die and choose a number of creatures within 60 feet of you that you can see equal to the roll. For 10 minutes, the chosen creatures can magically understand you, regardless of the language you speak, and you have an advantage on charisma checks made to influence them. This feature works even if the creatures don't speak any language. So that's going to be a D6 at level 3. I think at level 5, it goes up to D8, and then eventually getting up to a D12. So you can get up to 6 creatures communicating with you, or being able to communicate with them. So having enough... So those moments where you encounter something is like, who speaks Draconic, or who speaks Goblin? And everybody looks at their character sheet, right? Nobody does. Okay, shit, we're screwed. So this could come in and kind of alleviate some of that. And for 10 minutes, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long time in initiative. Sometimes that role play, like 10 minutes might move super fast. But what do you think about this universal speech?
I think it's great. It kind of gives you the quick tongue of bards that they should be, right? So it's interesting that it just says, okay, you can speak to anything and everything, and you're going to get advantage on persuading them. I mean, I like it. I think it fits with what it's trying to go with.
Right.
It almost makes me feel like this is like a used car salesman to an extent. And I think of our very own D-Doug.
Yeah, thanks, Doug.
But it makes you think like somebody who's a con man to an extent. I think that's where this is going to fit in the niche of,
I think so. You're giving yourself that safety net for these social encounters to kind of make get the fates on your side, to be able to get what you want, and like a used car salesman. So at 3rd level, you do get one more thing. It's called Soothing Words. You can cast Calm Emotions without expending a spell slot. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier, and you regain these on a long rest. So Calm Emotions, again, you're going to get a mob of creatures calm down for at least a minute. So Charisma modifier is going to be what, 2 or 3?
Probably
3.
Probably. I mean, I think as a bard, charisma is probably your number one stat that you're going to put in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I mean, you add this to. You add this to like some of your beginning skills, anyways. So the jack of all trades skill that you get right at the start of a bard, which just. So those of you that don't know, starting at second level, you can add half your proficiency bonus rounded down to any ability check you make that doesn't already include your proficiency bonus. So maybe you don't want to dump this into like all of the, charisma-based stats out there. I mean, then you get advantage on those already. It's good. I think this instantly is going to be a better role play than a better combat. So if you're into a more of a role play campaign, and I can speak pretty highly of that because that's how we play, this is going to be for you. Whereas if you're into more of a combat game, I don't know.
Yeah, you might want to skip this one, but I don't know, we'll see. Bards can still, I mean, this calm emotions might be a good kind of crowd control. I mean, you charm a few creatures, or you frighten a few creatures. That kind of can level the playing field, get some of the other characters coming in and doing what they do, because you've kind of, lessened the threat level.
So, I mean, but with calm emotions, though, it kind of just, it does chill. So you attempt to suppress strong emotions in a group of people. So I am reading this so for people that don't exactly know. Each humanoid within a 20-foot radius. So each humanoid.
Okay, that matters.
So...
And you can choose to charm or frighten them.
And then when the spell does end, so this lasts up to 1 minute, they do become hostile, and they know hostile. You did this. So, I mean... I'll say being able to cast any spell at will up to X number of whatevers is great. It is a nice little feature. It probably won't get used to the extent that most will others could use. I think calm emotions is great, but how many times are you going in to just pick a fight and then just chill out in a long rest? So maybe once, like it's
right. I'm kind of underwhelmed here. I think because at level 3, you'll have some spells and you have your expertise, but this, I don't know. I'm not super excited at this. So I'm looking at another College of Whispers, which I think these two they run parallel to each other pretty closely. At level 3 for College of Whispers, you get Psychic Blade and Words of Terror, and those are going to do some. I think those are a little more messing with their mind and controlling the situation on less of a grand scale, more of like individual. I'm going to work this individual.
But is that needed? So I think a bard base is already a pretty strong class. It is a pretty utilitarian class where you can do much of anything. You can cast spells. You can do some combat. You can do the persuasion and things like that. Whereas like a tank, you're a tank, dude. Like, so if you're a barbarian, you're dumb and you're just going to attack stuff.
Yeah.
Like where a bard is, you can outwit stuff. So is this needed just to add more depth to the class? Just to add some, difference to the class?
Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know how... I mean, we talked about scaling the other night with some of the other subclasses. I don't know how. I think bards, do they peak early? Do they peak late? This is leaving me hoping that I get some heavy stuff coming up next. 4th level, you get your ability score. 5th level, you get your Bartok Inspiration goes to a D8, so that's going to help your calming of the crowd. You do get some Font of Inspiration. And then at 6th level, you get the next college feature. And that's Undeniable Logic. And you can spin words laced with magic into a knot of reasoning that can be encouraging or impossible to follow. As a bonus action, you can spend one of your uses of Bartok Inspiration. So at this point, you've gotten an ability score improvement, so you're probably at like 4
Maybe 5 if you roll high.
4 to 5, bits of inspiration that you could do. So when you do so, choose a creature you can see within 60 feet of you that can hear you. Then roll your Bardic Inspiration die and choose one of the following. So you could choose the number of creature. When you do so, choose a creature you can see.
Choose a creature, one creature.
Then roll your Bardic Inspiration die. Okay. The creature. So you can choose the creature to take psychic damage equal to the number you roll. Okay, so that's what the roll's for. So up to a D8 at this point. So they could take up to a D8 of psychic damage, and the creature has to succeed an intelligence saving throw, or have disadvantage on their next saving throw until the end of your next turn. So again, that's going to pair well with that wizard that's having them dex save, fireball, whatever it is. You're setting them up for the wizard to knock them down. You can also choose the creature. Okay, so this is like for your allies. You can choose the creature to regain hit points equal to the number you rolled, and the creature has advantage on the next saving throw. So you get those choices, like do I want to attack, or do I want to like help my party? I think that's a great position to be in. It kind of you got to be a little more tactical. It's not just railroaded. You do this. You have an option.
So Ink brings up something interesting in the chat. Those D&D players that are not extroverts, that are not super outgoing, that don't want to sing, that aren't the Scanlons or the Sam. Fuck's his last Regal. God, my brain just doesn't work on that anymore. That aren't the Sam Regals of the world.
Yeah.
Maybe this is for you. Maybe this gives you the ability to just kind of be a quiet player, but you can be an intelligent person that maybe you create a compelling argument rather than having to sing to inspire people.
We all have those people that are in the meeting that don't say very much, but when they do, people listen to them. It's like they're not spewing BS all the time, but when they say something, it's poignant, it's thought out. Maybe that's the bard you are, right? You say something that is just to the point, and it gets like immediately people on your side.
Okay, that's something I didn't think of before. So
yeah, because I think Critical Role in Scanlan Shorthalt has done a great service to the bards, but it's also set that bar really high to be that charismatic player. I think we could dial it back, and we can create one of our own. Like we don't have to go to that height or that length. Let's go length.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't get a whole lot of college stuff for a whole lot. Like this is level 6. You don't get anything until level 14. Like how many hours of gameplay?
Years.
I mean, you get other things. I don't want to make it seem like you don't.
You
get some ability score improvements.
You get your Bardic Inspiration increases. Your Song of Rest increases.
Yep.
You gain some expertise.
Another expertise, which is kind of... That's almost one I don't hear enough of being a great skill to have.
Yeah.
Like rogues get it, bards get it, and it's like all of a sudden you got like a +7.
But you get 8, 2, 9, so you don't just get 1. You get 2 more skills to choose at level 10. Which, like I said, bards are kind of jack of all trades. They're good, in this giant area, whereas, barbarians are good at hitting stuff. So maybe it balances the character by saying, you know what, we're going to wait until 14.
Yeah. Yeah, because, you're just kind of pretty good at everything, right? So we're going to hold off on any special boons in your college until 14. So this is Infectious Inspiration. When a creature adds... For some reason I was struggling on this.
My brain isn't working.
When a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll or saving throw, and the roll fails, the creature can keep the Bardic Inspiration die. So it's not wasted. In addition, when a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration die to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll succeeds, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature, other than yourself, that can hear you within 60 feet, giving it a Bardic Inspiration die without expending any of your Bardic Inspiration uses. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So it's almost this chain lightning of Bardic Inspiration.
So that's interesting. And if you left it at the first paragraph, I was going to say, meh, because, again, at level 14, your characters are heroes, your characters are kind of badasses, and there's not a ton of checks that you're going to fail. There will be. I mean, there's going to be harder stuff. There's going to be things. There's going to be hard monsters. You fight Manchun Simulacrum has a fucking DC save of 21. Okay, I get it. Too soon. But then I'm like, okay, meh. But then you keep reading and adding this like chain inspiration. So okay, it is a reaction. Like I get it. So if you're a meta player and you're going to look at, okay, person 1 in the top of the turn order succeeds, I'm going to use my reaction. I'm going to select person 2. So now person 2 can do it, or person further down in the turn order.
Right.
Because you're only getting one reaction per cycle, right? But if you're a meta player and you do that, like, that is so helpful to the party and so helpful and such a good support function that giving somebody, what is it at 14th level? I think it's a D10. Yes, Bartok Inspiration is a D10. So you're adding up to 10 of inspiration points. Like, you're gonna succeed at level 14.
And it doubles your amount of times you can give Bardic Inspiration, right? So if your modifier is 5, you got 5 Bardic Inspiration that you can put out. But then if they succeed, you can just do it again, right? So you can add another one. So you're getting up to 10 Bardic Inspirations in a combat. Now it is very specific, right? You can't give it to yourself. You have to give it to somebody else. So that kind of limits what they can do
and takes away some different your person.
Yeah, but I think that's letting the other people be heroes, right? You're letting them have a greater chance of succeeding. You're letting them have do greater damage, right? That infectious inspiration, as it is called.
I agree. Fully agree.
And that's kind of the end. Not kind of, it is. There's nothing college-wise after 14th level.
So when you sent me this, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is a pretty long character for 2 pages and a half or whatever. But then I'm like, oh shit, both of them are on here. What? Like, this Bard class, again, the College of Eloquence, doesn't, like, you don't get a ton. Which, okay, fine, Bards are pretty OP already. But, like, this doesn't add a ton of flavor. This adds a safe Bard. How about that?
I think that's a good way of putting it. It's like that's a safe character, right? And coming on the heels of the Aberrant Mind, right, where we talked about the sorcerer, so many thematic elements, right? You're glistening in armor and scales. You're having tentacles pop out everywhere. Like, that is like mind-blowing stuff you see on the battlefield. This, I'm going to talk to you and convince you to do stuff. Like, it's the same game, but different, right? And there's definitely a spot for it in the right player, in the right game.
I could see this being borderline evil character, being a con man.
That might be the worst.
Maybe, what is it, like Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings, right? Who's poisoning the king's mind. Like, that could be this person. Kind of. Like, obviously you're not going to be able to do all
right,
this
so
stuff,
all right, so then what if you make an NPC who's kind of working the king, working the Lord Mayor of a town, right? He's you got to have bad guys that can do this stuff too.
Right.
I think that's kind of a cool little spin you could put on it. But
so
the cool
maybe what do you think about it? Is this something? Do these become like DM tools? With all of these heroes, right? Do these more subtle classes, like colleges, do they become a DM tool for DMs to be like, okay, maybe I can work this, twist it just a little bit, and take this element, and now we've got this like cool thing that's happening?
Right. So on the player side of things, like I'm locked into my character, right? I'm not going to have a chance to see these things or to experience these things as a player. It would be kind of cool to see an Aberrant Mind Sorcerer just pop up, and get some of those things. See this bard doing things that you've never seen before to this level. I mean, bards are charismatic, right? We get it; they could be persuasive, but this is like you're just doubling your percentage chances of succeeding with these things.
Well, I'd like to ask, Podcast Land, hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, leave a comment in the comment sections, Twitch chat. What do you guys think of this? Do you think it is a meh thing? Is there something that we're missing that you think will make this as interesting or like role play heavy as maybe the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer that we covered last week or the Lurker in the Deep? I mean, let us know, because obviously we're two people who play every day, or not every day, every week, and we may be missing something.
Yeah. I think on the surface this does look meh, but
they all can't be knocked out of the park.
In the right hands, in the right game, I think you've got a solid character. You've got a solid class that's going to treat you well, because we're not talking about the things that come after 14th level. You get your Bartok Inspiration gets an uptick. You get ability score improvements and magical secrets. So now you're pulling spells from other classes. Like,
yeah,
you got some stuff you can do. And I mean, by the level 20, 22 spells.
That's nuts.
You can cast all the way up to 9th level. So you can do things. You can do things that nobody else can do. So I'm okay with it. I'd like to see it in somebody, some capable role players' hands, and see how they spin it and what kind of character they make with this. I'm reserving my whether it needs to stay or go kind of comment.
That's fair.
There's a spot for it right now, but like we said, that was kind of short. I mean, we spent an hour on Aberrant Mind, so I think we're gonna. Do you want to move to the Paladin?
I mean, it's
final thoughts on.
I think I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, let's do the Paladin. It's short too, and then that way we just get them knocked out. Okay, so Paladins, you get your Sacred Oath at 3rd level, much like your college as a bard. So this is the Oath of Heroism.
Heroism.
Heroism. Let's do that. The Oath of Heroism is an affirmation of a destined path, one laid out for you by divine hands. For whatever reason, a god or a group of gods has included you in their machinations. You are not a reluctant hero, but one who fully embraces the idea that great deeds are yours to achieve. You train diligently, sculpting your body and refining your skills, so you are ready when destiny calls. I kind of had some chills.
Okay. I mean, I think I'm good.
The question is, isn't that most paladins?
No, I mean, okay.
Besides, like, the Fallen, or what's the...
Yeah, look at Alesta. So she is not that heroic paladin. She's kind of a paladin of the people. Kind of the meek protector. But this is kind of like Mr. Incredible, right? From The Incredibles. Okay. Like, he wants the glory, he wants the action, he wants to do it. He has to be that person. And so watch Incredibles 2, right? He gets so jealous of his wife becoming the action hero, and he's stuck at home.
I haven't seen it.
What?
I haven't seen it yet. I know, it's so bad.
Dude, there's like a 6-month break on spoilers. Anyways, but okay, I could see that. I mean, it's gonna. I think this. So right off the bat, I haven't read all the way through this yet. We're gonna do it here in a second. I think this leads to. There's 2 real types of players at the table. There's the leaders, and then there's like the supporting cast. And it's not a bad thing if you're either. Like, it's not a bad thing. I think if this is in the leader's hands, it can become overbearing. It can become annoying. I think if it's in a supporting cast's hands, I'm not sure it would hit the mark, because the supporting cast is not going to like play it to that full degree, right?
Yeah. I'm struggling to see the perfect player here that this would be suited for them. But so they give you some tenets of heroism, some kind of ways you should act, right? To help fulfill your calling as a hero worthy of legend, you believe that actions over words. You strive to be known by deeds, not words. Challenges are but tests. Every hardship serves to challenge your abilities and harden your resolve. You embrace destiny. You didn't choose this path, but it's yours to walk, and it will carry you into legend. And you hone the body like raw stone. Your body must be worked so its potential could be realized. And I could see where some of these things, like if you embrace these, it might get a little overbearing. It might get a little like, whoa, dude, calm down. I get it. You're like, you've been touched by God and you want to do these things. Just go do your sit-ups.
Well, but okay, so part of it is like, it's based on how the person interprets it, right? So it's based on how somebody's going to interpret those tenets. If you read them at face value, there's no real teamwork in there. And D&D is a collaborative game for the most part. I mean, the new Essentials kit, which if we did a review of that, does have a solo adventure or, you know, one-on-one, if you will. So there is that option, but this kind of becomes a like party of one type character, and
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like
you got to have like that foil character, right? That the exact opposite, the one that you can kind of bounce these ideas off of, or like these opposite feelings and kind of challenge each other. I think that might work. Speaking of the Essentials kit and one-on-one play, that might be a good avenue for this. But still, even in the one-on-one play, you have sidekicks and you have, you know, the DM gives you NPCs to go along with you, so you're not truly by yourself.
But I feel like this is going to be the person that rushes in. This is going to be the person that like doesn't really think about like the situation. Jenkins. Yeah, they're going to Leroy Jenkins the entire time, and it's going to be like, dude, let's look for traps. Let's do this shit. Let's, you know. Yeah.
I have read ahead, so there are some things ahead that will maybe alleviate some of that.
All right, let's move.
So let's get into some stuff. So you get spells like all the oaths. You get access to some spells. So at third level, you're going to get Expeditious Retreat and Guiding Bolt. Now, Expeditious Retreat, I don't know that one off the top of my head, but does that cast on multiple people, or is that just a you thing? You get enhance ability at 5th level. I know that one you can cast on other people. So there we go. Maybe we're kind of breaking out of the hero.
So this spell allows you to move at an incredible pace.
Okay.
Range is self.
Okay, so that again is kind of leading us to this. I'm the hero. I'm moving through.
So Guiding Bolt's really good. I feel like Guiding Bolt is a very strong 3rd level. Spell. It's not a 3rd level spell. You get it at 3rd level. Enhance ability is really good. Enthrall is pretty good. I mean, it's like a crowd control. Haste is awesome.
Haste is awesome if you can keep your concentration. It kind of sucks if that gets dropped and you're stunned for a round, you know.
Yeah. But, protection from energy. Okay, cool. Compulsion. I don't know if I've been 13th level enough to play with these spells.
Yeah, we're kind of
freedom of movement. Compulsion. But creatures of your choice that you see within range and that you can hear must make a wisdom saving throw. A target automatically succeeds on the saving throw if it can't be charmed. On a failed save, this target is affected by the spell. Until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on each of your turns to designate a direction that is a horizontal to you. Each affected creature must use as much of its movement as possible to move in that direction until its next turn. Okay. So, I mean, it's just like any other control spell.
Okay. I mean, I like having access to other spells, right? You're getting things that you wouldn't normally get. Some of these are great. Some of these, okay. What else? So, you obviously have your Channel Divinity. You get some things here that no one else can do. So, you get Peerless Athlete. So, you can use your Channel Divinity to augment your athleticism with Divine Favor. As a bonus action, you gain advantage on strength or athletics or acrobatics for the next 10 minutes. So we're dipping into kind of like monk-like territory, right? You're gonna be able to bounce off things. You're gonna be able to run through things with greater ease, having that advantage. In 10 minutes, that's combat-wise. I mean, tell me a combat that lasts more than 10 minutes. Not many.
Yeah, sure. But
so
I mean,
you're going to be
in combat. You're not going to use that too much. The next one, Legendary Strike, you can use your Channel Divinity as a bonus action to guide your attacks. For 1 minute, your weapon attacks score a critical hit on a 19 or 20.
All right.
It's pretty good. It's 10% of the time. 10% of the time, you're going to get
from
it.
5 to 10.
Yeah.
I'll take it. And so how many Channel Divinities do you get? I think you only get 1, and then at 5th level you get 2.
Yeah.
So you don't get a whole lot of these. So you got to kind of pick and choose, where you're going to do these. And we're still at 3rd level, so relatively puny.
Yeah, I would agree.
Squishy. So you get Paladins. They get their extra attack at 5th level, Aura of Protection, and then at 7th level, we're going to pick up the Mighty Deed.
I did that earlier today.
Ooh. Not go in there.
Sounds like a poop.
Your actions on the battlefield can supernaturally bolster your allies and demoralize your enemies. Whenever you score a critical hit or reduce a creature to 0 hit points, you can choose one or more of the creatures that you can see within 30 feet of you, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier, which again, they're charisma-based spellcasters, so you're looking at like probably a +4-ish, depending on where you're stacking. But 3 at the minimum. I don't know if you can go
I would hope.
But all the chosen creatures are affected by one of the following effects. So just like the Bard, you get to kind of choose. You get something, but you're either going to help your allies or you're going to hurt your enemies. The creature gains temporary hit points equal to 1d6 plus your charisma modifier. So if you're at a +4 and you max out that d6, that's 10 temporary hit points to probably your whole party, right? If your charisma modifier's decent enough. So you're giving 10 hit points, or you can have the creature succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC.
Or be frightened.
And be frightened until the start of your next turn. And you can't use it again until your next turn. So you, I
kind of get where they're going with this. It's kind of like a self-righteous, also bullshit type thing, in the fact that, like, look at me, like, I'm,
I have blessed you.
Yeah, and like, oh, you're so, lucky to fight by me, you get 10 extra hit points. Like, okay. It's just kind of douchey. Like, it's not fair to say.
and I don't think it matches our play style. Right? I think this would be kind of an annoying player at the table.
Yes.
Like, done poorly, this would be an annoying player at the table.
Now, if this player... Okay, so, to be fair, in our game, we are 70% roleplay, 30% combat. In a game that's flip-flopped, 70% combat, 30% roleplay, sure, this player's probably great. It's going to be the player that is kind of a butt kicker, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. Like, that may be the application for this class.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, critical hit, so that's 5% of your attacks, roughly. Or when you drop a creature to 0. So that's not very often.
Right.
I think this is going to happen. So at a level 7...
But you use your Channel Divinity, now it's 10%.
Okay, so if you've used your Channel Divinity, give you that improved critical. All right, now we're at 10%. But still, this looks like... I mean, I'm not going to get... I feel like I wouldn't get to use this very often.
Whereas, like, with the Aberrant Mind, like, some of those class skills that you get are ridiculous. This is kind of like, okay, cool, this may happen, this may not happen.
Kind of underwhelming.
These other things are going to happen because, like, it's a skill that I can do.
Yeah. But going back to your idea of maybe this being an annoying kind of player, I think I would want to approach this as, yes, I have all of these, like, I'm touched by God, I'm gonna, just being in my aura, you're gonna get these boons. But I think you still have to I would create like a humbled kind of character, someone that is maybe struggling with that mighty power and doesn't quite know how to use it, or doesn't really believe in himself, and he gives all the attribute to the gods. That's maybe how I would balance this out, so you're not that
maybe constantly striving to be better type character. Okay.
Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I would go, because I don't want to be that annoying player. But anyway, so Glorious Defense comes at 15th level, and this is you get a level 20 boom too. Okay, so 15th level, your Blessed Glory on the battlefield can misdirect an attack. When a creature you can see hits you with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to gain a bonus to AC against that attack, potentially causing it to miss you. The bonus equals your charisma modifier +1. Oh, minimum of +1. If the attack misses, you can make one weapon attack against the attacker as part of this reaction.
So it's almost like a riposte from a fighter.
Yeah. So you get to add your AC to your AC equal to your charisma modifier. So if we're at 4 or 5 at this point, because we're level 15th, I think we got an ability score improvement. Yes, we did at 12. So maybe we're at +5. That's going to be a +5 to AC.
So
if you're sitting in plate with a shield, you could have like 24.
And there's no cooldown on that other than a reaction. So it's once per turn. You can I mean that's pretty OP again in like a combat heavy.
Right.
You're not going to get hit very often.
But I think we're kind of upswinging the abilities here. Like we were kind of meh, and now I think we're picking up a little bit, because that's pretty good. There's just a reaction. That's all it costs.
Sure, I agree.
I would use my reaction all the time on that. But if the attack misses, you can make a weapon attack. So there you go. You've just boosted your AC. It's going to be hard to hit me, and I get to attack.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that.
It's like one of the fighter skills too, which is like base fighter skills.
Yeah, I think so.
In the
So I was thinking you get to pick a fighting style early as a paladin, right? So you can take defense, and it gives you a +1 bonus to your AC. So you can get up to 26
real quick
AC, I think. Man, ain't nothing gonna hit you. All right, so at level 20, we are now the man, the myth, the legend. This is called Living Myth. Oh man, that's kind of big shoes to fill. You can now empower yourself with the legends, whether true or exaggerated, told of your great deeds. As a bonus action, you gain the following benefits for 10 minutes.
So you gain all of these.
You get all 3 of these for 10 minutes. You're blessed with otherworldly comeliness. Comeliness? Is that should it be comeliness?
No.
Comeliness, gaining advantage on charisma checks.
What the?
Yeah, that sounds weird to me, but so you get advantage on charisma checks for 10 minutes. Once on each of your turns, when you make a weapon attack and miss, you can just hit.
Just so you know that word, I'm sorry, I may be dumb. Comeliness is pleasing and wholesome in appearance, attractive.
Okay, all right, okay. It's one that's not used very, very often. Is it? It's opposite of homely?
Sure. Yeah.
Would that be opposite of homely? Okay, so if you miss an attack, you can hit. Or if you fail a saving throw, you can succeed, and you can use it. You can't use it again until you finish a long rest.
So that's a lot of the legendary actions on legendary creatures. So a Serac, if he fails a saving throw, you can just succeed. Fuck it, I don't care.
I'm a Serac. But again, we're level 20. We're kind of like, you are next to godliness at this point. Everybody knows your name.
And to be fair, everybody's kind of a living myth at level 20 in how you should think about your character. Like, the world should know you, right?
Yeah.
So you're already that myth.
You can retire, and people will come and visit you and want autographs. But you get 1 per long rest as a bonus action. 10 minutes, that's going to be most combats again. That's that's a guaranteed hit. I like it. I think.
I mean, you guarantee
like the Glorious Defense better, but
you guarantee hit with some of like, you know, your other like Divine Strike, other Paladin abilities. That's pretty cool.
It was kind of, I mean, to kind of put a cap on these two, they're kind of hard to read after the previous two that we did. I think those two had a lot going for them. They had thematic elements. They had, some abilities. They had things for you to grab onto as a role player and go many different directions.
Yeah.
I think both of these are you got to be the right person. You got to be in the right game for them to be functional and worth it. I don't think they're throwaway completely. I think there's some things there that maybe need molded, and this is where that play testing comes in, right?
So if you're in podcast land, if you're in YouTube, if you're in Twitch right now, tell us what you guys think. Play test this. See what you think. Prove us wrong, because I feel, and this is a feeling that I have as a person, that these aren't like meta defining, right? I feel like Aberrant Mind or Lurker in the Deep can be one of those characters that like is the new thing. Like it is could be broken. You could do these things like, whereas this is kind of like, I mean, it's cool. You could do some fun stuff. And again, Chris, this may just be the difference in playstyle between us and like
what
combat heavy people.
For.
Yeah. So this could just not be up our alley, and we're not seeing it.
Yeah. I think, especially with the Bard, it's a solid, kind of safe character. You can do some things, right? With the Paladin, I think it's going to have the tendency to go in a look-at-me kind of way that might get old. But I think in the right hands, in the right game, you're looking at a Paladin that is functional. Again, I've never played a Paladin, so I don't know enough of the other oaths to be like where this sits in the pantheon of oaths. So I can't comment on that too much. I didn't do my research. Sorry.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. But going to like this influx of new subclasses, I have a hard time juggling bright new shiny things versus I still have a whole bunch over here. So I don't know if these are how I feel about all of these yet. I'm glad they're there. Yeah. I'll get to them eventually.
I mean, I think as much as we kind of dogged on these two, it's good to have depth. It's good to have new shiny. It's good to have things that haven't been tried before, and it keeps it fresh. So if we played the same raw characters every time, it'd get kind of boring. Like, I get it. Not everyone's going to be this amazing thing. It's not going to be this game breaker, but these definitely aren't.
Yeah, and time will tell. Like, let's see what kind of review process, editing process these go through, and ultimately, we posed this question last time: what book is this going to end up in? We have 6 new subclasses. I'm hoping we're getting a Xanathar Guide to Everything type book, where we get a nice in one package. We get new subclasses for all. New supplement.
Because I feel like when you put supplements in a module,
I hate that.
It is the worst, because I want supplements to be outside of the module. I don't want to buy a module that I'm never going to play.
Right. Just to get
3 little tiny little pieces in D&D Beyond, right?
Couple new spells, couple magic items. No. Give me the Xanathar's Guide to Everything. I'll buy that.
Yeah, Wizards, I know you're listening. You're wizards.
You're a wizard. Hey, are we good?
I think good? Yeah, I think I'm kind of in a bad mood too now because
Jules,
of this.
we good? Yeah. Because of this, is that what you said? I've just ruined my day.
I'm kidding, everybody.
I don't think so. I think this is I'd like, if I didn't do the show, I wouldn't read through this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm glad I'm doing this because I get to read through it and I get to process information beforehand, right? So I know it's out there now. So I know what I'm missing if I don't use it. So I'm glad I read through these. I'm glad they're there. Let's see the edit come through. So that's my call to action here is play through these. Somebody play in a one-shot or whatever. Put them in your campaign and see how they work out. And do those surveys on the Dungeons & Dragons website. Give them your honest feedback. I think that's the only way we get the best stuff. Right, is when you give your honest feedback. So do that, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm good with that.
There we are. Yeah. Call to action, everybody. With that being said, I think we're good to wrap up. Thank you, everybody in chat tonight, throwing stuff our way. We like bouncing ideas off you guys as well, guys and girls. Again, we're FeatherFall TableTop. You can catch us Tuesday nights with The Gods We Know. Still trying to figure out all this new programming. Gods We Know, homebrew, brand new campaign, session 1 coming, not this coming Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. If I was really cool, I'd have dates for you.
The 8th.
That would be October 8th, spoopy time. October 8th, session 1 for The Gods We Know. Look for us next Wednesday. We are going to have some new, I don't want to call it Waterdeep anymore.
Can we say the name? Did we settle on the name?
Did we settle on? I'm afraid.
I really like it. I think the name we'll say the name we're floating.
Do it.
It's the Ghosts of the Past.
Ghosts of the Past. We're moving away from Dragon Heist and into the Ghosts of the Past. Working title. Could change. But we'll see.
It fits thematically into where the story's going to go.
It does. And that'll be on October 2nd, 6 o'clock Pacific time. 8 o'clock Central. You can find us every Thursday here doing Table Talk, where we break down D&D news and RPG news, anything that's kind of out there. Pop culture. We got some DMs Guild stuff we might look at coming up. So
I'm saying next time. So we're done with Unearthed Arcana. Next time we're going to review Waterdeep, and I'm gonna need a spit bucket for this shit.
Yeah, we need. Yeah, so we will do a end of module review for Waterdeep Dragon Heist next week. All things considered.
Shake my fist at you.
Next Thursday. That's kind of good to kind of unload and get things off our chest. I mean, it's art. All art is up for criticism, so we have some stuff. I think there's some stuff good too, but we'll save it for next Thursday.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's us.
BB Nat, I probably will. I'm sorry.
Just literally rip it.
I threw it last time. I hucked it. I'm going to burn it later in an effigy, and then I'm going to post it and tag the wizards that are listening right now.
Yeah. All right. Let's sign off.
Yep.
FeatherFall TableTop. Thanks for hanging out, everybody in the chat.
We'll see you Tuesday. No, Wednesday. Sorry. Not this Tuesday. I fucked it up.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
I'm just fading away.
Bye.